All right, fundraising. The Football Booster Club spent $1,240 to print 2,000 football programs. They plan to sell each program for $2. How many programs must they sell to make a profit of $600? Okay, so I'm going to set this one up a little differently, and you'll see why. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a y-axis. And I don't have a whole lot of space here. You're going to have more space on graph paper, but you'll get the idea. Okay? Alright, so here's my y-axis. And I'm not going to do the x-axis yet, and you'll see why in a second. The very first thing I'm going to do is I need to know how low does my y-axis need to go. And in this case, you know it needs to go as low as negative 1,240. And the reason why is because that is how much they spent. Go back and watch a video whenever I solve this, and you'll see why it's a negative 1,240. But I'm going to assume that you've already watched it, so you know it's negative 1,240 is the lowest profit that they're going to have. So I'm going to go down to, that's kind of a weird number, negative 1,240. I'm going to go down to negative 1,300. And actually, I'm probably going to have to go a little lower than that. You'll see why in a second, because I don't have a whole lot of space here. So I'm going to go negative 1,400. And I'm going to count by 200s here. So I'm going to go negative 1,200. And then I'm not going to fill in every line. So this will be negative 1,200. This would be negative 1,000. This would be negative 800. I'm sorry. Negative 1,400, negative 1,200, negative 1,000, negative 800, negative 600, negative 400, negative 200, and then this would be 0 right here. So I'm going to fill that one in, and then this would be 200, and then that would be 400, and then that would be 500. This would be 600. That would be 700, 800, and so forth. You get the idea, okay? So basically, what I'm doing is I'm counting by 200s. I didn't fill out in every line for the purpose of time, but so let me recap: negative 1,400, negative 1,200, negative 1,000, negative 800, negative 600, negative 400, negative 200, 0, 200, 400. This should actually be 600 right here. Alright, so there we go. Got my spacing correct. Alright, and I don't really need to go any higher than 600. The reason is because what they were having me calculate was up to $600, so I'm going to just stop right there. I could keep going higher if I wanted to. But just for the purpose of you understanding what's going on here, I need to go as low as 14 and at least as high as 600. And now that I know where 0 is, I can place my x-axis. So my x-axis is going to go right here at 0, because that's where they meet. That's the origin. And so if my y-axis is talking about profit, the x-axis is talking about the other variable in this, and that is the number of programs that they sell. Okay, so I'm going to put number of sold programs. Alright, and the number of sold programs, whenever you solve it, in order to make $600 profit, you're going to sell 900, and actually I think it was 920 programs. Alright, so I need to go at least to 920. 920 is kind of a weird number, so I'm going to go all the way up to 1,000. Now you can count by whatever you want, but in this case, I'm going to count by hundreds. So I'm going to do this is 100, and then skip a line, that would be 200, and then skip a line, that would be 300, 400, and then 500, 600, 700, 800. This right here would be 900. Okay, and so it looks like I'm going to have to move some of this over. Okay. So this would be 900, this line, and then this way out here would be 1,000. But I'm not going to go that far out. Okay. And again, I'm having to kind of squish it here because I don't have like real graph paper. So, but anyway, so now let's start plotting this. If I sell 0 programs, so I'm not going to move it all this way. I'm going to sell 0 programs. I'm going to lose $1,240. So I'm going to go down to this would be 1,200. So negative 1,240 would be just barely below it. Okay. Real close to 1,200, so about right there. And then if I was to sell 920 programs, I would have a profit of 600. So I'm going to go out, here's 900, this line right here. So 920 would be just barely past it. Well, we know this is 900, that's 1,000, this is 950, so 920 would be kind of like right here. So 920, I'm going to go up to $600 profit. I sell 920 programs, and then I'm going to connect my points. So I'm going to go from here all the way out to there. And now I have graphed number 3. Let me explain to you what's happening here. Okay. I see that from this section all the way over to this section. So if I sell 0 programs all the way up to around, that is about 625-ish programs. So from 0 to 625-ish programs. What's up with my profit? Well, I have no profit. I'm losing money all the way up until there. At that location right there, at around 625-ish, I break even. Okay, see, that's where I'm at $0. And then from this section over, okay, so from about, I guess that would be like 626-ish and up, all right, from here on, I'm actually making money. See, I'm in this good area where I'm actually making money. So that's why we're doing a graph, is to kind of get an idea of how these two variables are related. I can see when am I losing money, and then in this section, oh look, I'm starting to make some money. So that's why we do this. And sorry, I'm struggling a little bit trying to fit it on here, but I think that's a good representation, because when you're making it on graph paper, there's going to be times when you're going to have to double check yourself, and you're going to have to maybe erase it and say, oh, well, that scale's not going to fit. I need to do a new one. And so just remember that the key is that you have to stay consistent. You have to count by the same amount every single time, and your spacing has to be the same. So that is number 3.